What's up, family? I'm DB. This is Cut Culture, where we highlight barbers and discuss everything from lifestyle, education, clients and products, and anything that helps move the culture forward. Today, we are in Henderson, Nevada, with my man Jojothabarber, aka Mr. Fresh Fade Alert himself. Say what's up to the family, man.
What's going on, fam?
All right, hey, look. We made it.
Yes, sir.
We made it. 2021, 2020 was a crazy year. What we're going to discuss today is barbershop ownership and to enhance or not to enhance. So you have a lot of barbers, especially as of late, talking about whether you use enhancements, whether to not use enhancements. Some people like them, some people don't like them, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. Right now, we're going to talk to Jojo about barbershop ownership. So, Jojo, you have like 2 shops, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, technically 3, because your wife has
a salon.
Have a salon. So, all right. So, if I'm a new barber, first of all, how long you been cutting hair?
I've been cutting hair since I was about 12 years old. I'm 38 now, so that's about 26 years.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've been cutting for a while. I've been licensed for about 19 years.
So when you decided after barber school, I'm assuming you went to a shop first?
Yes. When I went to right after barber school, I went right to the shop. It was a shop that I pretty much grew up in. Right. I knew, everybody in there.
And that was in Cali or Vegas?
Yes, sir, in California.
In Cali? All right. So was this your first shop in Vegas?
In Vegas, no. When I moved to Las Vegas in 2008, I worked at a shop. I was a manager there for 3 years,
right.
And then I opened up my shop.
Right.
About 3 years after I got here.
Okay. So what I want to talk about really is if it's a young barber out there somewhere, either in school right now, in a shop, or older barber, in opening the shop, what were some of the challenges that you faced from you opening your first barbershop? Like what would you tell that young barber that's want to come out of school and say, hey, one day I want to have me a shop?
The first thing I would tell them is to, make sure before they open up a shop, make sure that first and foremost that their clientele, that their personal clientele, mm-hmm. is strong enough to sustain their family first,
right.
And then their barbershop second.
Right.
Because, and not to get comfortable with just opening up a shop because you want to collect blueprint from other barbers.
Right.
A lot of guys want to open up shops and they looking at 10, 12 stations in the shop and they counting blueprint, but right. Barbers come and go. So if you ever hit a stretch in your business where the barbers are going,
right.
And you don't have the kind of clientele to sustain your business, how are you gonna pay your rent and your bills?
Absolutely.
So a lot of shops end up shutting down because the owner, depending on blueprint from
right.
the barbers, and then they lost 4 or 5 barbers all at once,
right.
And they can't pay their bills anymore, so they either have to sell or they have to shut their shop down. So for me, I would tell a young barber or any barber that's aspiring to open up a shop, mm-hmm. to learn to build a solid clientele by building relationships with these people.
Right.
So when it is your time to go open up your own business, you'll have a strong enough clientele to sustain it without anybody giving you $1.
Right. So when you get other barbers coming in, you can also teach, especially younger barbers, mm-hmm. coming up like yourself, how to do the same thing to help your shop.
Yeah.
Stay afloat.
Yeah, for me, I was fortunate enough to have solid mentors,
right.
that was able to teach me and groom me and really just turn me into an animal.
Right. And willing to listen.
Yeah. I had to,
right.
you got to be willing to listen.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to listen, man, because you don't know it all. And
right.
when you're young and you coming straight out of barber school, you want to hit the ground running 100 miles an hour, but there's levels to this business that you have to learn.
Right. So from the aspect of finances though, like having to finance the business, most people coming out of school, or most people just don't have $20,000 or whatever it is that it's going to take to open their shop. How hard was it for you to do all of that stuff? Like far as financing the shop, getting the loan and.
Well, for me, I never got a loan to open up my shop. So that loan process, man, like I don't really know that aspect because I didn't get a loan to open up my shop.
So you was a boss.
No, it wasn't. We talking to family now, so I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. So what happened? You know, in my situation, it was time for me to grow and expand to go open up my own business. So, you know, me and my wife was just sat down one night, man, and we wrote down everything that we were gonna need to open up a shop. And we started itemizing everything, and then we went, you know, on Google and started pricing out everything, and we came up with a game plan on this is what we were gonna need to get all of the, you know, everything to start running our shop. And then we started looking on, you know, how much is the LLC, how much is, you know, the business license through the city, through the state. You know, we started pricing everything, and then we just came up with a game plan. And I was talking to my mom about what I was doing, and she came out here, man, and my mom invested in me, man, on top of what we were already saving. And she told me she was just waiting to see how serious I was to, you know, before she decided to invest in me. But she already had the money sitting, waiting. She was just waiting on me to level up and see how serious I was. And when she saw that I was serious, it just kind of catapulted me out. But when you do open up a shop, man, you have to make sure you have your insurance liabilities squared away. Don't just have any kind of insurance. You want to make sure you cover all over the place, because what I learned, the guy who wrote my policy, he really looked out for me, man. But I had no idea. I just thought I was just paying for business insurance every month, but didn't know that this guy really wrote a solid policy, man. I mean, they really took care of us after that happened.
So that's probably something you thought about after you've seen it, like, man, I'm glad now I need to really pay attention.
You don't think about insurance until you actually need it.
One other thing that I want to talk about is what I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation is to enhance or not to enhance, right? So, man, look, I have been seeing a lot of talk lately. It seems like it's always a conversation though. But as of late, for whatever reason, and maybe it's just my timeline on social media, but I've been seeing a lot of talk about barbers debating whether to use enhancements, whether to not use enhancements, when to use enhancements, when to not use enhancements. And some barbers are totally against barbers using enhancements or color. How do you feel about enhancements? Or are you an enhancement guy? Are you a no enhancement guy? Or how do you feel about that?
I'm an enhancement guy, and I'm gonna tell you, I used to be against it. Like I said, I've been cutting hair for a long time now, and I grew up in the era where, you know, only time you'll see a guy with enhancements was when they were shooting a movie or something, like, and you know, in Hollywood. But now, you know, just your everyday guy, you see enhancements. But the reason why I had to readjust my thinking is because in business, man, and in any field, when growth happens, if you're not willing to adjust and adapt to the changes in that environment or in that field, you'll get phased out. So if you want to choose to not do enhancements, which clients are asking for now, that, you know, you're literally putting yourself at a disadvantage to level up and grow with the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be willing to change and adapt. And so what I'm not for with enhancements are the Sharpie look and you know, overdoing it and making your client just looking, that's your work that's being represented when they walk out of your chair, and when, you know, your client is looking like somebody just drew something on there.
Like a Ken doll.
And it's like, you know, I'm definitely for enhancements, but in moderation.
Tastefully done,
in moderation.
It kind of goes back to what, look, man, hey, if that's what they're gonna pay for, if that's what they asking for, I think it's our duty to, maybe you might want to encourage them to do like a little bit less. But at the end of the day, if somebody is going to pay you $80 or whatever it is that you charge for a dye job on them, I mean, why not do it and try to make it look as best as possible, you know? Obviously, you know, with dye, it's going to initially stain the skin a little bit, but it'll go away. Like in a few days, the stain from the skin will go away, and they'll just have black hair. So your haircut, which leads me into another thing. So your haircut should be able to sustain itself without being enhanced.
The haircut should be solid before you even put the enhancer on there.
Right.
You know, because the enhancer is just
to enhance.
Right. It's not supposed to be the whole shape up.
Right.
But you know, there are guys that it's the whole shape up
with the fibers,
with everything, and it's like, man, if your client could leave the chair and go hop in the shower and just wash their shape up off, like, did you really do them a service?
Right.
You know. And so it's, you know, we have to get to a point. I believe that we taking care of the client on a high level before we start putting enhancements on them, man, because, you know, it may look good when they walk out the door, but when they go home, man, they getting in the shower.
Hey, right. So how much influence is social media, particularly like Instagram, on younger barbers or barbers in general seeing other barbers use enhancements and them making them want to sit, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. I gotta do my haircuts like that, and them using enhancements.
I think Instagram has played a real big. They have really influenced. It's changed the whole landscape of our industry over the last 6-7 years, and because, like, you have a lot of these repost pages like Barbershop Connect, Barbers Inc., Western Barber Conference, you know, a lot of these repost pages, they tend to lean more towards like showcasing these barbers that are using heavy enhancements. So a lot of the younger barbers or the barbers who really haven't really solidified themselves in our industry yet, they look up to this, not realizing that most of the people that you're gonna see every day is not getting this. They're getting, you know, that work just from the clippers, the razor, and the comb, and the shears. But Instagram have literally changed the whole mindset of our industry that your haircuts have to look like this, and if they ain't sharp like this,
your barber is trash.
Yeah, your barber is trash. You know, because I have people that come into my shop and they'll book with me and they'll show me a picture off of Instagram that then been chopped and screwed and photoshopped and over enhanced and everything. I have to explain to them, like, you know, what you're looking at isn't reality. I'm gonna give you that work. I'm gonna get you right, but it's not gonna look, you know, like an artificial haircut.
But you touched on something though, about photoshopping. Haircuts. Now, I think we talked a little bit about that in the past. That's crazy, because you do have some barbers, and it is certain sites online, and it seems like the only thing that they post is Photoshop heavy enhanced haircuts. Now, the problem I personally see with that is, even if that barber who photoshopped this haircut, photo enhanced this haircut, and used a lot of enhancements, if somebody took that picture and brought it to you, be honest, it's hard or impossible to duplicate that haircut.
It's impossible.
So when you give that to when somebody comes to your shop and say, hey, excuse me, I saw this on your site or on this page, but I saw your name and I booked with you, I want this right here. Now, how satisfied is your client gonna be, or that new client gonna be?
Well, for me personally, I'm gonna make sure that they're satisfied, but I'm gonna explain to them before, when they show me that picture, because I know what I'm looking at. And I'm gonna explain to them why what they're looking at is a false representation of what they really want. But you have to explain to them that, man, this is an edited Photoshop picture of a haircut that's really enhanced.
Now I'll say there's some people I've seen that say that they are against enhancements, but look like some of their cuts got enhancements on them. Now I don't know, I don't know, but
no, you gotta call us. You gotta. We speaking to family now.
Yeah.
We speaking to family now.
Hey.
You gotta call a spade a spade.
right,
man.
it looked like some of their cuts been enhanced. Now I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I wasn't there. I'm not in the shop. I'm not looking underneath your cabinets to see if you hiding, an air compressor. But so what would you say, man, to the barbers who say, absolutely not, that's not barbering, you can't do that, that's garbage?
I will remind them of Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, and I will remind them of how, when Netflix and Redbox and all of these other companies taught us as a consumer how to rent videos and video games without all of these fees and, and all of this stuff.
Mail them in.
I will remind them about where's Blockbuster, where's Hollywood Video at now.
If you remember that.
If you remember that. Where these people, Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and companies like that, they got phased out in business because they refused to adapt and adjust to the changes within their industry. When somebody else comes with new information that's going to carry your industry to another place, and you refuse to adapt to that change, you'll get phased out eventually.
Yeah.
So you can have all of these, I'm totally against this and I'm totally against that. You can keep on having them, but you're going to see people coming up behind you that's being progressive and being willing to adapt and change to the state of the industry. They're going to pass them up and phase them out, and then they're going to look up and like, man, what happened to all my people? Well, they going to the barber that's progressive. That's being innovative. They're going to the barber because even in our industry now, man, people aren't just going to barbers, to us, just for a haircut anymore. People are getting facials.
Yeah, you're right.
They're getting scalp manipulations. They're getting their skin care taken care of. They're getting a total grooming services now. And if you just one of those barbers that just want to cut hair, you're limiting yourself. And today in 2021 now, as far as trying to grow and maximize your full potential as a barber. So I will remind these barbers that's totally against it to remember Hollywood Video and Blockbuster and see where they are now.
Hey, that's a good analogy, man. That's a perfect analogy, dog. So I like to hear from some barbers, man. I like to hear, hey, if you're a barber, you watching this, hey, comment on anything that we say. I just want to hear what other barbers got to say. What other people got to say. So, hey, man, it's nice talking to you, JoJo, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the invite, man. I appreciate anytime you ever need anything from me, I got you.
Yeah, hey, we're going to have to do like a part 2 or something. It's going to be like a reoccurring. Y'all want to see JoJo as a reoccurring guest on Cut Culture?
Yeah.
Hey, hey, put it in the comments, man. Let's make it happen. But tell everybody where they can find you on social media. Tell them where your shops are, and yeah, do that, man.
Man, well, you can find me on social media. My personal page is at Jojothabarber. My shop page is Allstarz Barbershop LV. My first location is located at 565 Mark Street in the city of Henderson. My second location is 276 East Lake Mead Parkway. It's on the corner of Lake Mead Parkway and Boulder Highway in the Walmart Plaza. And we every day we giving out fresh fade alerts, man. fresh fade alerts, and telling people to come get it.
Hey, so that's gonna be it for this episode of Cut Culture. I appreciate you guys, family, for checking in with us. Every Saturday before noon, we'll have a new episode. So make sure you check us out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you liking. Make sure you hit them notifications. And we'll see y'all next time. Until next time, maybe I'll be in your shop in your city. Love, peace, and hair grease. Salute.